Alright, I figured let me make a video. This way I can tell everybody at once, and it makes it easier for me. So for those that don't know, I've been trying to get my CDL back so I can get into a truck and go back over the road. Or at least that's the plan. So I understood it as, now I've had my CDL for numerous years, but when I got my license, or when my license was suspended and I got it back, I didn't update my medical card, my DOT physical card. Rules and regulations of DMV say if you don't update that information, your CDL becomes null and void. You're just holding a piece of plastic that says CDL on it, but you are holding a regular driver's license, Virginia driver's license. So I wanted to verify that. I'm supposed to be in a class right now. It's about noon, and I'm supposed to be in a class right now, CDL class. But Thursday, when I went in for my permit test, because I wanted to make sure I had my permit test before taking a class, I went in to do my permit. I gave him my medical card information, my updated physical information, and all my paperwork. And the guy looks at me and goes, "Okay, well let's put all this in. Let's get everything all situated." And his face. Now, I don't know if I get this skill from my father, or it's just being around people a lot. I know how to read people. And I'd like to think that I know how to read people pretty well, visually. And his face changed. And how he held himself changed. And he goes, the guy at the DMV, he goes, what are you looking to do? And I said, well, I'm here to take my permit test. He goes, why? And then I explained to him, the same way I'm going to explain to you. I've been, my medical card information for my CDL expired 6 months after my license got reinstated. Now, my license got reinstated after my suspension, March of 2015. Okay. So I've been almost 2 years without a medical card. Actually, yeah, this will be my second year without a medical card. Now, rules and regulations state from DMV. I'm going to say this a couple of different times here. Rules and regulations of DMV state that if you do not upgrade if you do not have a medical card for your CDL, for your Class A, Class B, whatever it is, I don't know much about Class B, but for your Class A CDL in the state of Virginia, you have 6 months. You have a 6-month grace period to update that information, to get a medical card. You still have a CDL, but you can't drive. You can't drive a tractor trailer. You can't do anything. Okay? You have 6 months. Now, when those 6 months is up, your CDL's done. You have a regular driver's license. It doesn't matter what you have in your wallet. Your CDL becomes null and void. You have no CDL. And I knew this, and I called the DMV about a week before this happened. I'm like, listen, this is my situation. This is what's going on. I need you to run my license and find out what kind of license I have. Lady said, no problem. I didn't tell her about my CDL. I didn't tell her about anything else. I just said, I need you to run my license and tell me what kind of license I have. She goes, okay. No problem. I give her my driver's license number, some verificational information to make sure that I am who I say I am. And she told me I have a regular driver's license. I don't have any special license whatsoever. And then I verified. So I don't have a CDL license. I don't have a Class A CDL license. She goes, no. No endorsements. No nothing. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be nasty. I just want verification. I have nothing. She goes, yes, you have nothing. Great. That's wonderful. Okay. And I'll tell you why me having my CDL isn't necessarily a good thing right now. But we'll get to that further in the story. So I go to take my permit test. Blah, blah, blah. Fast forward. His face changes. Okay. He looks at me and he goes, sir, you have a CDL. I said, no, sir, I do not. He goes, yes. When I put in my medical, when he put in my medical information, the information on the computer changed. And I said, well, what did it change from? And what did it change to? And he said, you went from a non-licensed driver, a non-CDL licensed driver, to a CDL licensed driver with XYZ endorsements. Because I don't know if everybody knows, but I used to drive a school bus. I had Class B endorsements on top of my Class A endorsements. And he goes, you don't have to take the permit test. Now, mind you, it's been 2 years since I've had my medical card. Actually, it's been more than 2 years since I had my medical card information. I shouldn't have a CDL. And I told him that. People, let me tell you, I stood there at that counter for an hour. He's talking to this person, he's talking to that person, he's talking to this person, which is good. I needed verification. I needed to solidify whether or not I have a Class A CDL with all the endorsements that I already need to do A, B, and C to get into a truck. Okay. But I noticed, now paying attention to detail, everybody kept saying, I think, or this may. I need somebody who this is what it is, or this is not what it is, there's an issue with our system, we need to fix it. Okay. He kept bouncing around people who didn't know, and I'm like, excuse me, is there, not trying to step on anybody's toes, I'm everybody knows me, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, I'm trying to piss anybody off, but, I need solid information, I need the truth. And he goes, okay, I'll be back. Let me go talk to Bob. Bob's the CDL guy. Bob. So he goes in the back. 25 minutes later, he comes back. He still has this, just puzzled look on his face. Just straight up confusion. It was actually kind of comical to see. But, he goes, let me see your license. Gives him the license. He goes back. He goes, I'll be back in another minute. And I said, just one? He looks at me, laughs. He goes back there 35 minutes later, people. 35 minutes later, he comes back, still has a confused look on his face. But he said, listen, this is what Bob said. This is what we looked on the computer. This is what we went through our system. You have a Class A CDL. Beautiful. Thank you for verifying. Next time we'll just go straight to the boss. Anyway, so today's Monday. Today's the first day of my CDL class. So now since I have my CDL, everything changes. Now I'm not going for my permit. I'm not going for my license. I have my license. It changes my needs. I don't need the class for more than a refresher course. So, but it's been 5 or 6 years since I've been in a truck. I need to take pretty much a whole class. Pretty much. or a little bit more than a refresher, because I think that's only like 40, 80 hours, whatever it is. But anyway, and we're filling out some paperwork, and the only questions that were asked on the sign-in sheet was whether or not you had a learner's permit. Now, I put no. And then, we get through the introduction and who everybody is and blah, 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 blah. And the director comes in, Mike, nice guy. He comes in and he's looking through the paperwork and he goes, okay, so who doesn't have their CDL permit? And I didn't raise my hand because I don't have a CDL permit, I have a license. I was the only one in the class with my full CDL license. There was a couple of people that raised their hands and didn't raise their hands or whatever. But I didn't raise my hand because I don't have my permit, I have a license. And I said that. And he gives me this half-cocked look like, what do you mean? We were talking about this, and I explained to him the story as I explained to you. And he goes, then you can't be in this class. And I said, what do you mean? So there were some legalities with me taking the class, or somebody taking the class that already has their license, that the school can actually get into a lot of trouble with. Now, here's the bad part. I don't qualify for that class anymore, which is fine. I got to go through their refresher course. Okay. Problem. No grants. No financing. Pretty much no financial assistance at all. And the class was $2,400. No thanks. He said he might be able to work out some sort of financing with me, but I'm like, you know what? Give me a call later. We'll talk about the financing issue, and we'll take it from there. But after that, I'm going home. If I don't need to be here, there's no reason for me to be here. They made me go to the DMV because they're telling me the same thing. You didn't have your medical card for more than 6 months. You don't have a CDL. And I'm like, this is what the DMV told me. Okay, go back to the DMV, find out for 100%. I said, okay, no problem. I'll do that. And I'll come back and I'll tell you what I got. Great. So I do that. This lady was on the phone with headquarters for about another good 15 minutes to half hour. I wasn't really paying attention to the clock. Because now I went to the front desk. Everybody's got to go to the front desk. And they kept saying, I think, or this may be, or this is possible. And I'm like, can I talk to a manager? And she goes, I'll do you one better. I'll give you an express ticket, which really wasn't express. I still sat there for a half hour, but I digress. And finally get up to talk to this lady, and this lady, turns out, was the same woman that I was on the phone with 2 weeks prior. Okay. And she goes, yes, I remember running your license and this, that. So she grabs the phone, dials headquarters, because I went through the same thing, and because I told her, I'm actually glad it was her, because I explained the situation, explained what happened, and she goes, yeah, that's not supposed to be. I'm like, aha, I know. So, aha. So she goes, let me talk to some people. I'm like, I mean, no disrespect, but I was here Thursday, and we already talked to some people. Is there a way we can get a manager involved in this, or somebody that is an expert in the CDL regulations? And she goes, I'll do you one better. Let me call headquarters. She called headquarters. Like I said, 15, 20 minutes. I think it was more than that, but we'll say 15, 20 minutes, because it's already 15, 16 minutes that this video's on. And she verifies that I have a CDL. According to their system, according to what's going on in their computers in their system, I have my CDL. I am a Class A CDL holder with Class B endorsements. everything that's on that was on my license prior, I still have. Awesome. Okay. So I turned it off. So I get home, or I'm on the way home, because now I have my CDL, or now I know I have my CDL, because they actually made me go. Sorry. So now I need to find a new class, and I found a new class. Now I also have some bad things on my driving record, or a couple. I'm not a bad driver, but I have a couple of things on my record, and I can remember this one class telling me, look, what you have in your license is no big deal. We'll take you. We'll get you into a job. It's probably not going to be the job you want, but at least it'll get you into a truck. It'll get you some experience. That's all I want. That's all I want. Give me 3 to 6 months experience in any truck, and then I can possibly make moves and maneuvers into the company I want to get into, or a better company, just in general. And problem with that is the class is $1,500. I do still get grants, but it only brings it down from $5,000 for the whole class, down to $1,500, which is great. It's a blessing. But I still don't have $1,500. So that's where we're sitting right now. I actually might. Oh, I know you people are going to be mad at me for this, because I've been doing so well, sort of, with walking and eating right and whatnot. But there's a challenge. There's a food challenge out in Charlottesville. It's a whole pizza. I know. I can feel the criticism through my phone. But it's a $500 prize. And it's something I know I can do. For a $500 prize. Cash. Well, I think it's a check, but still. Cash. I think I might go ahead and do that. And I might actually try and do it twice. But more on that later, if I even decide to do it. Kathy's kind of against it. I'm kind of against it too, but just because I've been doing so well. But $500 is $500. Anyway, I'm sorry this video is a long one. I just wanted everybody to know where I'm sitting. Well, I'm sitting in the shed, obviously, but where I'm at with what I'm working on. Other than that, which I think getting into a truck would be cool, because then I can do cooking videos from the truck. And then at that point, nobody's got any excuse, because if I can do it in the truck, what's your excuse? Not singling anybody out. I'm just saying, just saying. So, all right, this is getting too long. Thank you for sticking with me. I notice I still have the same 7 subscribers, which is awesome. I love you guys, and thank you for the continued support, continued looking out for me. I really appreciate it. So, we'll see you on another episode soon. Soon. I have no idea when, but soon. Sort of. Alright. Take care.